Ah-Dha-mhen. So I was planning on doing this Thursday. Today is Friday, and so be it. Saturday, the 10th, is the 4th workshop. This will be where we begin for those who have been participating in me allowing for the time for those who would come into the workshop that is going to be participating on an ongoing basis. Now the time in order to begin what we're going to be doing will take place this Saturday. So I really wanted to do this video for a couple reasons. One is to let those know who really don't quite understand what the workshops are about, and also for me to talk a little bit about me losing my singing voice and how relevant that has been in regard to my mission and service. So let us begin with what the workshop is not about, okay? It is not about learning about Keylontic science, okay? In a nutshell, it is not about that. If you want to learn about Keylontic science, you can go to my website, as well as that you can go to Patreon. My website has a lot of materials. Actually, what is on my website, what's on my website mostly is that, well, let me just say this. Initially, the reason for me creating my website was for me and for my music and for potential career opportunity, okay? What I ended up doing is changing it over and supplying materials for Keylontic science, things that I've created, things that I have redone. There's a technique there called the sound and light techniques that I have there available as well. So there's materials to be found there for those who are looking for information in regard to Keylontic science. As well as within Patreon. Patreon is really focusing more on what I am now doing contemporarily, meaning within the moment, within this timeline, and bringing in my mission for the reason why I stepped into this incarnation to begin with. So the reason for the workshop is to work together co-creatively in order to harness energy collectively in order to change consciousness, not only individuated consciousness, but meaning our own, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that briefly, but overall the energy manifesting in order to reintegrate the true sense of nature of the beings that are here. An overflow for that. And that is really accomplished through boots on the ground, under the same roof, physically in the same space. That's where that happens. The online training is just a tool that we're utilizing because it's a great tool, but it's not a substitution for what I'm talking about. Ultimately, individually, people will be creating within their own communities this harnessing of energy collectively. So this requires training, and that's what's going on. So it's not about learning KS material, quote unquote. It's not what it's about. It's about doing the stuff. So what does that mean, doing the stuff? Like I said, can't go into detail here because it's very involved, but it's working together co-creatively, collectively, harnessing energy in order to change consciousness. All right, so there's that. All right. Now, before I continue, I'd just like to say, how important is it in order to be able to do this under the same roof with people in the same room with the same intention, it's extremely important. If you're not aware of this, through experience, I know. I don't believe it. I know it. First-hand experience. So it's essential. The online thing is not to be substituted, and it has been substituted. It's a great tool, but it's not the substitution for what I'm talking about, which is what I call the real thing. All right, so training. Say, well, I don't know very much about Keylontic science. Well, that's okay. It doesn't matter. There's a curriculum that we're following that I created for this. And let me just say this. This has taken a very long time for me to do. I have been within service of humanity for, I don't know, 40 years? I guess it's been 40 years. So within that 40 years, it's led up to this point where I'm at now. Okay? So I'm not new. All right? And this is based off experience, not somebody else's doctrine or teaching. All right? I utilize what I know to be true for me, not because I subscribe to it because it sounds convincing through somebody else's words. All right? I'm 63. I have a long history, man. I'm a type 3 indigo. And if anybody knows what that is, you understand why I'm here. And you know that it hasn't been easy and it wasn't meant to be. That's a long story. Won't go into it. We'll just say it's like it's a one-way trip. All right, so at any rate, what we're doing is now we're beginning on Saturday, the 10th. Hopefully you're able to see this before that, so perhaps if you connect and you know this is what you need to be doing, you can join us. And even if you hear it late and we've already started, it doesn't matter. Step on board. All right, so this is what you would consider to be on-the-job training, is what this really is, okay? A lot of people don't have the skills. They don't know. They're trying to remember certain things, and that's fine. It's not important. What's important is actuating the energy by doing. So that's what's going on here. Like if you got hired on for a job and you didn't have the skills to do it. However, you're willing to show up whenever you're expected to show up. You're going to be trained on the job. Okay, so think of it in those terms. All right, now onto my voice. It's an essential part of my mission. So I lost it over a month ago, and meaning my singing voice. What I have been doing changes my field. Again, being under the same roof in the same room, if you don't know what that is, and when that's taking place energetically, if you don't know what it is, you don't know what it is. That's the reason why I'm emphasizing it as being so important. So when I lost that, I've had photographic evidence through other people showing how it's changing the field around me. Okay? So when it happened to me, it was devastating to me because it was essential for my advancement, my modulation, or should I say my oscillation expansion of consciousness, which has to do with your individuated timelines. Your individuated timelines is what we see as the relationship of the structural design of the construct. It's called time. Okay? Understanding consciousness and consciousness bands and dimensions, time, it's all the same thing. All the same thing. And it's really easy to explain. I'm not going to go into that right now. I would like to, but I don't want to take up a whole lot of time, and I already have up to this point. This is meant to be brief. So when I lost it, it's an essential aspect to my mission. I dropped in consciousness because it was devastating to me. And at that point, I had all kinds of things come at me, started attacking me. and it just seemed to be quite overwhelming. And I was angry. I was so many things, you know. And then I finally let it go of it. And when I let go of it, I was able to re-stabilize myself. It took quite a bit for me to get. It took many, many days, weeks to be able to stabilize myself. And so I decided, well, you know, I'll just direct, and I'll just word the words, and you know. And so I was sitting down and I was playing my touch style instrument, and a melody dropped, and then I developed it, and I go, you know, I'd really like to put lyrics to this. I'm going to do it. So I did. And then I said, oh, no, I don't really like that. I changed it. This is all happening in the same evening. And once I got the lyrics to a certain point, I'm going to go ahead and try to sing this. My voice, I have a very low range now. I can only hit, I'm very pitchy as well. You can probably hear my voice is kind of harsh. I'm having a hard time speaking. Hopefully that won't take place tomorrow, but it is what it is. It's been an ongoing thing. This has a lot to do with my upper cervical instability and vagus nerve, and it's a long story. All right. But anyhow, I decided I'm going to sing. So I did, and then I caught it on camera. I went ahead and recorded it so that I could have it. Once I figured out how the lyrics are supposed to go and arranged it and how it was to be sung. As far as the melody was simple enough because I had already created the melody to begin with, so I'm kind of singing along to that. And I'm singing very low, very low, because I lost over an octave of my range. I lost over an octave of it. And I captured it on camera, and you know, it's kind of pitchy, right? But there was an energy to it that I feel that's comforting to me when I hear it, you know, regardless of how new it is and how, you know, it's just pitchy and everything else. And I thought I would share it with you. So that's the thing here. Hopefully this is a blessing to you, because that's what's intended. Everything I do, I hope that it does what it has been doing here within this room and in my field, how it's been affecting things. So hopefully you can receive the residual effect of that. Now, again, for those who would like to be part of the workshops and such, or anything I had mentioned prior, you know, all the links are found within the description of this video. All you have to do is just go to them and click on them. You can find out the time frame for the workshops through Patreon, you know. So thank you. Blessings to you. All right, folks.